Well, we probably don't have enough time for that because there are so many. Uh, but aside from the obvious, like meeting my future wife and, and meeting some of the best friends I've ever had, really just the growth I experienced as a member of staff, and how I went from kind of this shy, insecure kind of kid into someone who uh, really found a lot of self confidence and found that there was a place for me and a place where I figured out I could be good at something. And so I think being a camp counselor was really um, where I found my niche.
Camp played such a huge part in our lives. Uh, it gave us a place to belong, and it gave us the opportunity to experience new things. And we wanted that experience for other people. So, the best way to ensure that that happens is to come down here and volunteer. I think there's also a bit of selfish reason. I enjoy coming down and watching the kids learn new things and experience new things, watching the excitement and the energy that the campers have. It is a little bit rejuvenating for me as well. So maybe a little bit of selfless and selfish motivation there.
And it's a way to give back to a place that's given us so much.
As a staff member, I think, and even as a camper, I was just about having fun. I was here to have fun with the kids, with my fellow staff members, and I'm not sure I fully appreciated the overreaching goals that camp had when I was 18. Now I can see the long-term benefits that camp has for kids, the uh, the way they grow in their independence, the way they grow in their confidence, the idea of being able to try new things in a safe environment. Um, I think those are things I appreciate as an adult that I did not fully appreciate when I was on staff and as a camper.
And the perspectives obviously change as you grow older. But I'm able to appreciate camp not only as a former camper and staff member, but also as a parent of a camper and staff members, and as a board member, getting to see the inside of how camp operates and all that it takes, because it's a tremendous undertaking to make this place run. And it takes everybody. Many hands make light work. And so I learned that, and I've taken that from when I was a staff member all the way through to now, even as a volunteer. And so, yeah, the perspective over time has really shifted just as I've grown as an adult.
At the risk of sounding cliche, kids do need to unplug. They need the opportunity to be away from all of their devices. As a parent, we watched our children come back from camp and be a little relieved that they had had that week away. I think they may have gone into it not super excited about being away from their devices, but they came home appreciating that time um, to just be themselves.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. You're allowed to be yourself here, not get put into a box or something that kind of the outside world might put you in or you think you should be in. And camp really levels the playing field in many ways, and all that stuff that you kind of bring in, you can leave at the door, leave at the gate, and come in, and really just be yourself and be able to grow. And the trick is taking that back out into the real world. So hopefully, they get that self confidence and that independence, and they can take it and be who they are in the rest of their lives. Well, they've pretty much grown up here. They've been here off and on their whole lives, and I think earlier I talked about you know finding my self confidence and here, but somehow I wasn't able to translate that to when I went back home. and it's just taken me till more as an adult to be able to do that. But they, I think, have been able to do that right now at their ages and are able to, um, you know, and that's a lesson they learned here, just being in the environment and being around the people and that whole attitude that everyone has around here about everybody's welcome, everybody has their place, and everybody has something to contribute.
Our daughter had the experience in her high school setting. Um, One of her teachers asked her to be the camp counselor in the situation to help mediate some drama that was happening within her high school. And he went to her and said, I know you can do this, and I need you to, help me work through this. And she was able to. She had those skills that have been honed here at camp.
I think with everyone being involved, it's actually kind of brought us closer. We were always a close family, but I think having this connection and that shared experience has really gone a long way in bringing us even closer. And in fact, the kids, our son and daughter, are I think they're better friends now because they have that shared experience and they can lean on each other. And actually, when we're lucky enough to have everyone home and at the dinner table, the conversation almost every time turns to camp and what they're experiencing and what we experience and how we can compare notes and sometimes they'll ask us how we handle a certain situation, and or we kind of throw a scenario at them. How would you handle this? And it's interesting to hear their answers. And you know, it's funny because it seems like some things never change. The same situations always seem to pop up around here.
Same homesick kids, same, yeah.
And so it's really neat to see them in their element now, and being what we were at one point. And it's always nice. And actually, camp has been kind of a family affair for me because my mom was registrar at camp when they had an office in Belleville at one point. So it was it's the third generation. So it's really been great to have that continuity and just have that long history of camp.
As teenagers, middle schoolers, teenagers, their inclination is to pull away from you. And they should, developmentally they should. But it's nice to have something in common with them that you can keep coming back to. I think that helped to keep our family, helped us weather some of those teenage years, I think.
I think that's something camp has always done very well, particularly with Dan King's under his leadership, and there there are many traditions here, but camp isn't so set in their ways that the world passes them by, and so they know how to kind of bring in some of these other elements and how kids operate today or how they what they respond to and are able to take those bits and pieces and sort of weave them into camp's traditions and camp's way of doing things. And I think it's they've continued to do that for many years, and I think they'll keep doing that. I think the culture is here and the tone has been set, and I think that's going to continue on into the future because there's a nice a broad family of camp folks that I think won't let some of those things be turned away or be turned off, so to speak.
One of the things that I've been impressed with in the last couple of years, as I guess a parent of a staff member and parent of campers, is the focus they've had on the social emotional learning. In some ways kids don't change, but in some ways kids today are different than they were, and they're dealing with different stresses than I dealt with as a kid or even my own children dealt with. And I've been impressed with the way camp has adapted their program to help those kids and help the staff help those kids. They've instituted some new programs that I think are super beneficial for the campers who come to us with needs that they haven't always had. I think camp is great for kids and staff members and adults. It gives you the opportunity to try new things in a safe environment. There are not many places where you can ride a horse, shoot a bow and arrow, climb a challenge wall, do this, giant swing. All of these things happen here within a week. And that's a pretty unique situation. So come ready to be open to those experiences, to be willing to try new things. I think that's an important aspect of camp.
Yeah, and the fact that you can find your place here. Everybody's got a place. Everybody's got a strength, and maybe you don't know it yet, and you may find it here. I did. Um, I could go on and on and on about how I grew, and finding that self confidence, and taking a chance in a safe environment, as she said. One of the biggest impactful moments of my life was here as a second year counselor. There was a homesick kid, really homesick kid, really wanted to go home on that first day, and I convinced him to stay. And fast forward to the end of the week, Friday afternoon, he was running around having the time of his life. And that really hit me, that I helped that kid get through that and helped him find that strength, to that courage to stay, and then he ended up having the time of his life. And it hit me then that what the impact this place can have on not only that camper but me as a counselor. And that's when I started to figure out that I might be good at this. And so that and it's not for everybody, but taking that chance and finding out is a big step. So
One thing we told our kids would bring their friends down, and not all of them came back. But I said to one of the girls who was like, "Yeah, this wasn't for me," I said, "But you know what? You did something that very few other people have been able to do. It may not be something you want to do again, but you did accomplish something that few people have done. So you can take that as a badge of honor with you, that you accomplished that one thing."
yeah, and a lot of people have said it, that if, as far as the impact this place can have, if everyone in the world spent a week at camp, the world would be a whole lot better place.